Stephen Ewashkiw from Adventure Yoga. Thanks for joining me for class today. Today we're going to work on Hatha Yoga. This is a level 2 Hatha Yoga practice. What that means is if you're brand new to yoga, I recommend you find one of my all levels or basics classes. But if you are ready for the challenge, all you have to do today is your best. So do your best. Have a seat on your mat, and I'll see you there in just a few seconds. Please join me in a seated position. If you can sit in Siddhasana, how I'm sitting, please do that. It will be useful to have that extra little bit of time in a hip opener. But if Sukhasana is what you prefer, sit there and sit up tall. The promise of yoga is to do your best, and whatever happens, happens. That's our theme today, and I'd like you to take that as a little bit of a warning. This is level 2 Hatha, and all I want you to do is your best to show up, put in the work, and whatever happens, happens. I could have asked you to get lots of props for class today, but I just thought that we would use our body and use our ability today in this moment. And we'll see what happens. Look down at the ground or close your eyes. Come to your breath. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Anjali Mudra. And stretch up long through your spine. Ask yourself to be present, to put in the work, and to do your best today, without judgment. Whatever happens, happens. Lower your hands. If your eyes are closed, open your eyes. And come into child's pose. Please, Balasana. Knees wide, feet together. Sit back on your heels. Stretch your arms out and fold forward. Bring your forehead to the ground. Yoga isn't about a final form of any particular pose. It's here to teach us that when we do our best, when we put in our effort, that's really all we can do. We have to let go of the rest. Whatever happens, happens. Come up to your hands and knees, and find your way into Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Push through your hands, lift up through your hips, and stretch your heels back and down. Because this is an advanced class or a level 2 class, I'm going to assume that when you want to modify, you will modify. Push through your hands, stretch through your shoulders, push through your feet, lift up and back through your hips. Tilt your pelvis slightly, so move your pubic bone back towards your thighs, lift your tailbone up towards the ceiling. Look at your hands, come to your fingertips, step your right foot forward for Banarasana, Lunge Pose. Push down through your hands, look forward, lift your chest, and step forward. Uttanasana. Fold over your legs, push your hands down and forward. Step your right leg back, Banarasana, lunge. Push down through your feet, smile, and draw your knees in towards each other to activate your legs. Work that isometric engagement of drawing back with your left foot, forward with your right foot, and then step forward, Uttanasana. And again, left leg back. Banarasana. Lunge. Look forward. Smile. We're going to stay here a little bit longer. Push down through your hands, fingertips or hands flat. Hold back with your hands a little so you can lift through your chest. Push down through your left toes and your right foot. Square your hips. Draw your right knee back and left knee forward. Draw it into yourself. The idea of this work is that we draw into ourselves and we tap into what we are capable of. We put our best out into the world. And it's impossible for us to control how others will respond to what we put out. All we can do is our best. Step your left leg forward and step your right leg back. Lunge, Banarasana. Push down through your feet, push down through your hands. Pull back a little with your hands so you can move your shoulders away from your ears, lengthen your spine, even lift your chest a little. Push down through your right toes and straighten your right leg. And then without moving your feet, actively draw your feet towards each other. Create that isometric toning of the muscles in your legs. That's going to create stability so that you can push yourself out. Lift your chest. And step your right leg forward. And step your left leg back. But we're going to change it up a little. Don't worry, it's not all lunges today. Walk your right foot over to the left and bring your left knee down to the ground. Walk your hands forward a little, bend your elbows and lean in, and then come into Pigeon Prep. Slide your right foot back, point your toes, point your ankle, bring the top of your ankle to the ground. Walk your left knee back a little bit more. You can keep your left toes tucked or left foot flat as you like. Come down onto your forearms, or if you'd prefer to stretch your arms straight out, stretch your arms straight out. Whichever option you choose there, do what's right for you. Do what's going to put your best into the pose. You can bring your forehead to the ground or not. That's why I say you can. Push down through your left foot and your left knee. Draw your left hip towards your right foot. Push down through your right foot and your right knee. And draw your right knee towards your left knee. Create that engagement in your hips. This isn't a resting pose. This is still part of our warm-up. It's the last pose of our warm-up. So really activate your Eka Pada Rajakapotasana preparation. We're going to play with this pose again and again. We're going to play with all the poses we've just done again and again. Your work is to put your best effort in each time it appears. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Tuck your left toes if your foot is flat. And then come up and back into downward facing dog. Step your left leg forward for Banarasana. And then walk your left foot over to your right hand. Bring your right knee down to the ground. Pigeon Prep, other side. Walk your hands forward, slide your left foot back, point your toes, point your ankle, bring the front of your left shin to the ground, walk your right knee back more, and when you're ready, choose where you are folding forward to. Forearms down, arms stretched out, forehead to the ground, or not. I'm more concerned about what we're going to do with our legs here. So push down for your right foot. Push down for your right knee. And then draw your right hip towards your left foot. Push down through your left foot. Push down through your left knee. And draw your left knee towards your right knee. So that your hips get maybe a little lift off the ground here, get a little bit stronger. Do your best. Put your best out into your pose. Take it from inside and bring it out. Your best is enough. You are enough. Bring it into everything that you do. And whatever happens, happens. Bring your hands under your shoulders. If your right foot is flat, tuck your right toes. We're going to stay in down dog a little bit longer this time. Push it up and back. Downward facing dog. Stretch it out. Bend your knees, exhale, look forward, and make your way to Uttanasana. Float or walk. Uttanasana. And take your Uttanasana a little bit further than the first round. If your legs were bent and you can straighten them, straighten them. Stretch your spine long. Put in your best effort here. Through the repetition, we see that the work can expand. Our best can change from moment to moment. Step your left leg back, Banarasana, lunge, look forward, asymmetrically draw your feet in towards each other to stabilize and strengthen your legs, and then lift your torso, stretch your right arm up, bend your elbow, take your left arm back, Gomukhasana arms. Stretch your right knee forward, but isometrically draw your feet towards each other. Square your hips, stabilize your hips so you can lift up and smile. Bring your hands down to the ground. Step your left leg forward, right leg back. Push down through your feet, draw them in towards each other. Find that connection so that you can lift up strong. Stretch your left arm up, bend your elbow. Take your right arm back and clasp your hands. If you can't clasp your hands, modify it as you need to. Stretch your left knee forward, but draw your left foot, right foot in. Square your hips, lift through your spine. Release your hands, downward facing dog. Set up like Pigeon Prep. Again, step your right leg forward, right knee wide, top of your left foot on the ground. Top of your right foot on the ground. And then walk your left knee back a little, walk your hands back. Bring your right hand onto your thigh this time and lift up. And then bend your left knee, reach back and grab your left foot for the thigh stretch. Pull your left foot towards your outer left hip and turn and face forward. But we didn't just do Gomukhasana arms in the lunge for no reason. So bring the crook of your left elbow to the top of your left foot. Slide your left knee back a little bit and lift your left hand up. And then isometrically draw your knees in, lift your chest, take your right arm up and over, and go for the Gomukhasana clasp or mermaid. Turn your left hip forward, draw your knees in, lift up. You should probably feel this in your left quads. It's a bit of a thigh stretch here. All you have to do is your best. If you can't get the clasp, doesn't matter. If you're doing the thigh stretch by holding your left foot, it's great. We all have different edges. We all have different bests. And that changes from moment to moment, which is why we're doing this repetition. Downward facing dog. So you see how what you're capable of changes from moment to moment. Other side. Left leg forward. Top your left foot to the ground. Slide your right knee back. Walk your hands back and lift your chest up. Take your left hand onto your thigh. Bend your right knee. Reach back with your right hand and grab your foot. And then do the thigh stretch. Pull your heel towards your outer hip. Look forward. Draw your knees in towards each other for more stability. And then work the crook of your right elbow to the top of your right foot. This is a good place to be. You can stay here. Or lift your right hand up, slide your right knee back a little, and take your left arm up and over for the clasp, for Gomukhasana, in your upper body, and mermaid pose we call this. Square your hips and chest towards the front. Isometrically draw your left knee and right knee in so you can lift your chest. And then release your leg and arms. Downward facing dog. Push it up and back. Then for something a little different for a moment, Vashisthasana to the right. Come to the outer edge of your right foot, step your left foot on top of your right, stretch your left arm up. You can do legs stacked, or if that's not what you're doing today, go to the kickstand variation. Left foot in front of your left hip for both hips. Stretch up long through your spine. Stretch out through your spine, everybody. Lift your hips. And downward facing dog. Go to the left. Stack your feet. Or take your right foot and step it in front of your hips. Instead of looking in towards your belly, stretch out through your spine. Lift through your hips. Vashisthasana. Downward facing dog. Bend your knees. Look forward and exhale. Make your way to Uttanasana. Step your left leg back. Come to lunge. And isometrically draw your feet in. Get your legs strong to support you. Do your best so that you can lift up. Stretch your arms up and hold your left wrist with your right hand. Stretch up, stretch your right knee forward, and side bend to the right. Keep drawing your left foot and right foot, front and back, in towards each other. I call this one crescent, crescent. Really stretch through your left side. Side bend to the right. And then come back to center. Bring your hands down to the ground. Step your left leg forward. Step your right leg back. Push down through your feet. Lift your torso. Stretch your arms up. Hold your right wrist with your left hand. Reach up. And side bend to the left. Isometrically draw your left foot and right foot in to stabilize. That's where you'll be able to do your best here. And hold yourself up and take yourself over to the left. And then come back to center. Bring your hands down to the ground. Downward facing dog. Virasana. Bring your knees down. Sit down between your heels. And sit up tall. If you can't sit in Virasana, no problem. Sit on your heels or grab something to sit on So that you still have your feet wide, just place a block or a blanket underneath your hips. Sit up tall and stretch through your spine. Hug your outer ankles in so you can get a little more lift. And then walk your hands back. Place your hands flat, fingers pointing forward. Tuck your butt underneath you and lift your butt a little. Then move your hip points towards your shoulders. So really open up your hips so you feel your thighs here. So get a little thigh stretch. And then bring your butt down to the ground. Walk your hands back a little more, come down to your forearms. We're not going to go all the way to Supta Virasana because we're not going to stay here that long. But do that same thing you just did. Tuck your butt, lift your hips a little. Move the front of your hips up towards your shoulders so you feel your quads. And then bring your butt down. Come into plank pose. Walk your hands forward and plank pose it. Squeeze your legs in, squeeze your arms in, and lower all the way down. Take your time. Place your feet flat. Bhujangasana, Cobra. Push your feet down, lift your chest. And let's not make this the Cobra of Surya Namaskar A, but let's make this level 2 Hatha Cobra. Push your feet down. Squeeze your legs in. Pull back with your hands. Move your shoulders down. Lift your chest up. This isn't a half breath cobra, it's a several breath cobra. Push down through your feet, all of your toes. Squeeze your legs in a little. Push your butt down, pull back with your hands, move your shoulders down, lift up through your chest. Bhujangasana, Cobra. Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. Bend your knees, look forward, and make your way forward to Uttanasana. Stand up. We are going to use one prop today. We're going to use the wall. We're going to use the wall for balance. Nice, right? But first, try this. Bring your left elbow in at your side with your palm up out at your side. This is a shape we're going to use. We're going towards full pigeon today, so we're going to work on that first standing in Virasana. In some ways it's easier, in some ways it's harder. We're going to use the wall for support to make this a little bit more accessible so that your best is more about getting your hand to your foot than holding yourself up. So bring your elbow into your side, palm up out at your side. It's a bit like you're carrying a tray of food. And then move your hand back, and then move your elbow back. From here, you're going to grab your foot. And then, do this with me. Bring your elbow in at your side and forward, and then lift your elbow up. That whole time, you're going to be holding your left foot. What? I know. All you have to do, remember, the promise of yoga is to put in your best effort, and whatever happens, happens. All you got to do is your best. Touch the wall with your right hand. This is so that we can do our best with what's going on with our left side. Bend your left leg, grab your foot for now, and then lift up. Pull your foot up and in towards your left hip, pull your left knee up and back. Then keep your left leg there. Take your left elbow in at your side, palm up, just like we practiced. And then you can slide your right hand forward a little so you can look to the left. Turn your left foot out, and now you can move your left elbow away from your side. Reach down with your left hand. This is the part that gets complicated if you're not used to it. Take your hand onto the top of your foot, so underneath your foot. and grab your left big toe. Don't grab your right big toe. Now this is the part where we can run into limitations if we haven't yet. Bring your left elbow forward and point your left foot. Oh, that's my limit here. Lift your left knee, and some of you, my left forearm is feeling really tight today. Some of you are going to bring your left elbow up and overhead, holding your left foot. And then release that. Watch. I don't want to do this with props because I want us to practice this work of doing our best, whatever we can do today. And then whatever happens, happens. But just so you get a good visual, watch. This is what we're going for. Grabbing the foot. Here I'm going to use the strap for that same idea so you can see it. You pull your elbow forward and point your foot. And then lift your elbow up and knee up. All while holding your big toe. See what happens on the other side. With this work, I didn't practice it in my body before class because I wanted it to be fresh. I wanted it to be honest. I wanted it to be my best effort. Whatever happens, happens, right? I don't do every yoga pose like you see on Instagram, unless you're looking at my Instagram, which I don't really use very much. Okay, anyway. Touch your left hand to the wall. Bend your right knee, grab your foot. My point is, we're all where we are, and it's okay. We are enough. Move your right knee back a little. Take your right elbow in at your side. Turn your palm up. Turn your right foot out to the side, and then take your right hand. Move your elbow back, reach back, grab your right foot. Now, I know that this side is less tight for me, so I might go a little bit further here. Bring your right elbow in at your side, stretch your right knee back, and then work to lift your right elbow up and right knee back. Yeah, very different on this side for me. And carefully come out. Figuring out how your hand and foot stay connected in that transition is a whole other bit of work. It takes practice, it takes patience. We'll get to practice it again in the setup for full pigeon. For now, let's go to downward facing dog. And think about what happened there. Whatever happens, happens. We can't be in control of how our best effort is received. All we can do is our best. Bend your knees, look forward, make your way to Uttanasana. Fold forward into your best Uttanasana here, whatever that is, in this moment. And then step your left leg back, Banarasana. Pull back with your right foot and your left foot, pull it forward, draw it in. Lift your chest. Bring your left knee down to the ground. Bring your right hand onto your thigh, lift your chest. Take your left elbow in at your side, hold your left palm up at your side. You don't have to grab your left foot here, I just want you to practice this action. Take your left thumb back, open up your left shoulder, then move your left elbow back, reach down, grab your imaginary foot, then pull your left elbow forward and up. And then release that. Step your left leg forward and your right leg back. Pause in Banarasana, set up here. Strengthen your legs, put in your best work here. Look forward, look up, and bring your right knee down. Bring your left hand onto your thigh, lift your torso. Take your right elbow in at your side, right palm up, out to your side, and then look over your right shoulder, reach back with your right hand, like you've got a tray of food and you're reaching it back behind you. Then move your right elbow back. Bring your right hand down a little and grab your imaginary right big toe. Keep that and pull your right elbow in and lift it up and back, a bit like Gomukhasana. I think all triumphantly, oh my God, I did it. I'm totally holding my foot. And then bring your hand down and step it back, down dog. And now we're going to see what we can do in pigeon. Just do your best. Step your right leg forward. I like right ankle dorsiflexed for this pigeon, for full pigeon. Keeps my legs a little bit stronger, keeps my right leg a little stronger. And then look forward, bring your right hand onto your thigh. Bend your left knee. Take your left elbow in at your side. Turn your palm up and reach back. Turn your left foot, this is hard to do, out to the side. Gotta think about it. What? Reach back. Grab underneath your foot. Grab your left big toe. Slide your left knee back a little bit. Get lower in your hips. That gives you a little more room to maneuver here. Then bend your left knee. Pull your left elbow in and start to lift your left elbow up as you shift the grip on your hand a little, working to hold on to your left big toe. Whew, that's it for me. And let it go. And come into down dog. And be proud of yourself for whatever you just did. We rarely work on this pose in class because it is so challenging. It has so many pieces to it. Step your left leg forward. Sit up in your legs. Work to keep your left ankle really strong. So your left shin is strong. Bring your left hand onto your thigh, walk your right knee back, and lift your chest up. And that's why practicing it is challenging. Take your right elbow in at your side. Move your right hand back. Pick your right knee up and turn your right foot out to the side. Then reach back and underneath your right foot. Then slide your right knee back a little bit. Pull your right elbow into your side and point your right toes up. And then look forward. Slide your right knee back a little more as you bring your right elbow up. And maybe take your left arm up and over. Eka Pada Rajakapotasana. Go to your best place. And then carefully release it. Come back to downward facing dog. Stretch it out. And think about what happened. Be proud of yourself. Be so proud of yourself. That's just such amazing work. Bend your knees, look forward. Just walk forward about halfway. And then sit down on your mat, walk your hands back. Oh, I got red knees from doing all that work. I'm going to have a little bit of a skin burn there. This mat's pretty sticky. Maybe that's too much information. Lie down on your back. Set up for bridge pose. Stretch your arms towards your feet. Set your legs up. And then bend your elbows. Tuck your shoulders in. Straighten your body. Lift your hips up. Interlace your hands underneath you. Walk your shoulders in a lot. Push your shoulders down. Expand your chest. Push your feet down and lift your hips. Work to find a little bit of balance here. It's a lot of twisting and turning to get into whatever stage of Eka Pada Rajakapotasana you went to. Settle your mind. It's easy for our minds to get active and to pull us away and tell us that we are not worthy and that we didn't do a good enough job. But you did an amazing job. Whatever happens, happens. As long as we're putting in what is our best effort, stepping our best foot forward, that's all we can do. Release your hands, bring your butt down to the ground. Now we haven't done Gomukhasana legs, so let's do Gomukhasana legs, but on our back. Pick your feet up, cross your right leg over your left. With your left hand, grab your right foot, and then grab your left foot with your right hand. And then move your feet up towards your shoulders a little, so your feet go a little wider. And then work to unround your back as fast as you can. I love this variation. It's nice at the end of class to give our hips a stretch, even to give our inner thighs a little work. Hug your legs in towards each other. So squeeze your thighs in. And then release your legs and go to the other side. Cross your left leg over your right. Grab your left foot with your right hand. Grab your right foot with your left hand. And then move your feet away from each other or up towards your shoulders a little. And then work to unround your back. So bring your tailbone towards the ground. Your back will probably still round a little. Just work to unround it. Arch your lower back as best as possible. Squeeze your legs in towards each other. Steady your breath to settle your nervous system. I know that takes a lot of work, what we've done. But we've put in a lot of work to get out a lot from that work. And then release your legs. Bring your feet down to the ground. Stretch your legs out straight. Let's do a gentle twist. Hold your right knee with your left hand. And then twist it over to the left. Look to the right. Don't do your deepest, most intense twist. Do it's almost Shavasana twist. Then come back up through center. Change sides. Stretch your right leg out. Hold your left knee. Look to the left. Twist to the right. Come back up to center. Stretch both legs out. Point your toes. Straighten your body. Stretch your arms up and overhead. Stretch through your fingers. Stretch through your toes. Stretch. Work to regain the length, getting into that twist, back bend, and all that work of pigeon. It can make me feel like I got shorter and twisted a little. I like this to stretch it out. And then when you feel stretched, come into Shavasana. Stay here for just a couple of minutes. Let yourself go. You have earned this rest. Your body needs this rest. So that it can understand the work that you've done, the knowledge that you've taken in. Rest. Start to deepen your breath. Move your fingers and toes as you like. Move through your body as you like. And when you're ready, bend your knees and turn onto your side. And when you're ready, make your way up to seated. You come into a comfortable seat, look down at the ground, or close your eyes. Bring your hands into Anjali Mudra. The promise of yoga is to do your best. And whatever happens, happens. We practice this in this class. We practice this on our mat. As a reminder that when we do our best in the world, that is what we can do. How it's received is out of our hands. I want you to do your best, to follow your heart, to search for adventure and put your best foot forward in everything you do. Whatever happens, happens. You can take great comfort, great joy, great pleasure in having done your best. Thanks for doing your best today. Namaste. Thanks for stepping into that challenge with me. There are a lot of poses that challenge us, that challenge me, and I really love the opportunity to practice them, and I hope that you enjoyed that too. This work is there to remind us that when we challenge ourselves, but still do our best effort, that's what's really important, and that's what's going to serve us well out in the world. If you'd like to do another class on another day, there's one there I recommend. Click on it, add it to your watch later list. And if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, please just click on my picture over there to subscribe, and then you'll get notifications when I post new classes. Thanks, homies. See you soon.